Please put your hands together for Kathryn Sheridan from Sustainability Consult.
So, hi, indeed. Last year I spoke about storytelling for scientists, and you can find that video online on World Biomarkets if you want to check back. And tomorrow I'll be up here with an amazing thought leader, Damien Perryman from GIVO. So 10 o'clock tomorrow, we're doing a keynote interview. But for now, I get 10 minutes to talk to you about thought leadership. And it's actually such a simple topic. I feel like we can cover quite a bit in 10 minutes. We don't need to make things overly complicated. And the reason I'm committed to this topic is because things are taking quite a long time to happen, and we can talk about the various reasons for that, but I want to help you increase your impact. And that's why I see each and every one of you in this room as a thought leader who is absolutely able to have an impact and to move the needle on policy, on business, on how we live and how we make products. And so that's why I wanted to share this topic with you this year. So we're going to talk about why thought leadership is important. I'm going to give you some good tips, hopefully, see how you can get help. And also, I have a fun freebie. If you haven't discovered that yet during World Biomarkets, I'll mention that at the end, and you're all absolutely welcome. So, what is thought leadership? I know for some people, the word or the idea of being a thought leader is a bit uncomfortable. And if that's the case, I would say, perhaps use a different word, leader or expert. But to me, a thought leader is somebody with an opinion, but it's not just about having an opinion just for the sake of it. It's not about being argumentative or provocative or unpleasant. It's about having an informed opinion, having something that you believe in, standing by it, not being afraid to share about it and talk about it, and essentially that it comes back to your values. It's something that makes sense to you in the work that you do, in the way that you live your life, and that ultimately you're a thought leader in that you want to make a difference. And there's also a big piece around influencing the narrative, so building connection and building community. So it's not about fake news, it's not about getting into arguments, but it is about being willing to stand up and take a position, and indeed an informed position. So for me, a thought leader is someone who shows up semi-consistently. Let's not get too, bogged down by the how much and the when, semi-consistently on a platform like LinkedIn. I'm going to speak about LinkedIn today. It's not the only platform. It's not the only way. You also have media, speaking at amazing events like this. There are lots of other ways to do it, but LinkedIn is free. LinkedIn is a complete win-win. There's absolutely no reason not to do LinkedIn. So it takes leadership and consistency. And I have a lot of conversations, I've been doing this for a long time, with people who they're just not comfortable. And if I say, why aren't you using LinkedIn? Why don't you do it? And one of the reasons is that they really they don't want to be that one that's always like shouting the loudest. But what I've experienced is that LinkedIn can also be good for people who don't see themselves as an extrovert. For quieter and more introverted people, they can find their place and do LinkedIn very, very well. You can interact on your own terms, in your own time. You can take time. You don't have to just answer on the spot like in a media interview. You can take your time and find your way. And from a neurodiversity perspective, not everybody wants to write or is particularly comfortable with writing. So there are other ways, using photos, using video, and this kind of thing. One thing I've recently started doing, actually, is Instagram Live, and then you can save that as a video, and then you can pop it onto whatever platforms you want. It's super easy. Definitely found it less stressful or less effortful than like setting up everything perfectly for an interview and the sound, and then I tend to get a bit stiff and frozen. But just going live was super easy. It was very natural. So the things that people tell me about why they don't use LinkedIn, I don't know how to do it. Fair enough. I prefer just scrolling. I'm sure there's a few of you in the room. Some people will also say, I'm not on social media. Let me address those three first. I don't know how to do it. Well, I would say just do it. You know, we do it, we learn by doing. You don't really need to have everything down perfectly. I'll talk about that in a second. And to those of you that prefer just lurking and reading and hanging around, okay, but you're spending the time on there anyway. So why not just do a little bit more and just post a thing now and then? And if you're not on social media, great, good for you. I would save a lot of time if I wasn't on social media. LinkedIn is not social media. LinkedIn is a professional platform. So I think we make a mistake when we lump it in together with all the other time-wasting platforms. We do also see, for some people, for various reasons, it can be hard to be visible, to make yourself visible by posting on something like LinkedIn. And there's an accountability, and what if somebody questions me about it? And also, what if my views are not aligned with my company's views, for example? That's something that can cause a bit of trouble and tension. And then we have people who say, I don't want to push myself forward. I don't want to boast. This is about my team. It's not about me as an individual. So maybe some of those sound a little familiar or resonate with you. I want to just share a few tips. First of all, ignore the rules. You talk to any marketing person, any so-called marketing guru, and they will absolutely give you a whole set of rules about what you're supposed to do, what time you're supposed to post, on what day, what kind of structure. You should have between 7 and 13 hashtags, or whatever it is, whatever the latest thing is. And honestly, the algorithm keeps changing, so that advice should also keep changing. Just ignore it. I would rather you post and not worry about the rules than not post at all, because we get hung up in getting it right and getting it perfect. We end up not doing it. And it's not just a LinkedIn post. This is about changing mindsets. This is about having an impact. And the reason I'm here talking about this and not many of the other things I could be talking about is I want to help you increase your impact. That's what this boils down to. If there are engineers in the room, they might be pleased to hear this one. Don't stop testing. We need to iterate. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. Come back, try it again, try it on a different day, write it slightly differently, or just move on. Not everything will work. But this is about community and culture. We are trying to change the way things are done in the world. This is a big task. And LinkedIn, it may seem like a small, insignificant thing, but it's a platform which can help us to do that. In building community, we build culture. And it's a culture that needs to change today. So how can I possibly help you with this? Well, I've been around the bioeconomy as a sustainability and credibility communicator for 20 years or so. I used to run a small agency. Now I've scaled it back, so what you get with me is now director-level consultancy support on credibility and thought leadership. I'm also a leadership coach and mentor. I can say a few words on that at the end if there's time. And if you're interested in the idea of ecotherapy, eco-psychology, come and see me afterwards. It's things that I'm active with and that I've studied, but they're not really fitting within our conversation today. So I've launched a new support package. Soft launched it before, officially launching it here at World Biomarkets. And it's called Thought Leadership for Independent Leaders. It's not about your company LinkedIn page. It's about your LinkedIn page. And I want to help you get your ideas out into the world. And we need to do that quickly. So it's a monthly package which will help build your expertise, build your profile, and just help direct you. A lot of people say to me, I mean to do it, but I just don't prioritize it. This would give it, working with me and co-creating with me, gives it a structure and helps you stay accountable to yourself with what you want to achieve. And my fun freebie that I'm offering at WBM, I have a table, a sustainability consult meeting space right in the back. It's right by where the doors are open, so it's nice and cool. And today and tomorrow, I'm offering a free LinkedIn checkup. So if you see that I'm on my table and there's nobody else there, please come up and ask for the free checkup, and we'll take a quick look at your LinkedIn. I can already give you a couple of tips, things that you can put into practice right away, which will hopefully improve your impact. So that's me. Also in your teams, if you yourself or your colleagues are struggling, are maybe at risk of burnout or loss of meaning, loss of motivation. There's a lot of climate anxiety also in this industry. We're trying to make change. It's not easy. You can also contact me for coaching support. And I have 2 seconds, so I'll leave it there. Thank you so much.